Yo, what is going on guys, it's SP7 here, and before we even get into the video, I'd like to give a huge thank you to everyone who subscribed to the channel. I recently just hit 200 subscribers and I feel like it's a really big achievement for me. And to celebrate that milestone, I'm going to be showing you guys my Warzone settings. I know this wasn't really a highly requested video, but I just thought it'd be interesting to share my actual settings with you guys and see what you guys think in the comment section down below. So without further ado, let's get straight into the settings video. It won't be too long guys, so be sure to stick to the end. So to start things off, we've got a default button layout, default stick layout, and obviously we have invert vertical look disabled as well. Dead zone 0.05, as you can see, I've not changed anything from the standard settings. Now here's where things get interesting. If you look at my horizontal stick sensitivity, I have it on 10, and I also have the vertical stick sensitivity on 10 as well. The reason for this is because this is your movement sensitivity, so when you're playing in Warzone, you want to be able to turn around at high speed, just in case you're getting shot in the back, and to be able to hit your shots effectively, because if you have a low sensitivity, say for example 3 or 4, if someone's shooting you in the back, it's most likely the scenario that you're not going to be able to kill them, you'll probably get downed. I'm sure some of you guys are probably thinking right now that yes, it's good to have good movement, but what about when you're in a gunfight? Well, see, this is where the ADS sensitivity multiplier comes in. For low zoom, which is most likely what you'll have on your loadout classes, I have 0.7, and this basically means that when I'm in a gunfight, so when I'm ADSing, when I'm zooming in on my gun, my sensitivity will be around 7. So that means I'll have a lot more control rather than if I was just on 10. So that's why this setting is normally set to 1, so you want to lower it down if you want to have a higher sense for movement, but a lower sense for gunfights. The ADS high zoom multiplier isn't that relevant unless you use snipers, for example, where they have a high zoom over 3 times magnification, but I just turned it down to 0.95 just to give myself a little bit more control, but that's up to you guys, it's not really relevant in my opinion. Moving on, we have the aim response curve type. So if I scroll all the way down to that, we have down standard. Now this is where the interesting thing comes in guys. I have controller vibration enabled. Now a lot of you people think I'm probably a psycho for having this on because it does actually increase your recoil, but I've just gotten so used to it that I can't switch to disabled vibration, which is why I've got it on. Alright, so next we have the weapons category for the controller, and aim assist I have on standard. You can try precision or focusing and you can see the descriptions for them on the right, but I think standard is the best one personally for all skill types on the game. Then we have weapon mount activation. For that I have ADS plus melee. I feel like this is one of those things that I put as my setting because of things that used to happen in gunfights with me, so I'll explain. So normally when I used to shoot, sometimes I would accidentally panic knife, and that would make me lose a lot of gunfights because for some reason I used to press my right thumbstick a lot, which was weird, and I had that as my melee setting and I'm used to it. But with ADS plus melee allowing you to mount, it actually improves your situation in gunfights. So say for example you're near a wall and you accidentally panic knife, you'll actually cling onto the wall and keep on shooting, so it'll give you a higher success rate when you're in a gunfight. Alright, so if we scroll down, we have weapon mount movement exit, that's enabled, aim down sight behavior on hold, equipment behavior hold, use/reload behavior, we have contextual tap. This is mainly for Warzone just so you can loot up as fast as possible. What else have we got? We've got depleted ammo switch enabled. Armor plate behavior, I have apply 1, because sometimes if you have apply all, you might get stuck in a cycle of putting the plates on and you might get rushed, so that's the reason why I have apply 1 on, so I can do it manually. What else do we have? Movement. Okay, so slide behavior I have tap. This is basically just so you can slide cancel and move around quicker on the game. Auto move forward I have disabled. Automatic sprint, okay, I have this enabled, and this was primarily just because my controller was a little bit messed up with my left trigger, which is why it just eases the pain on the controller, which is why I have it on. If you don't like it, then you don't like it, but I just think it's useful for Warzone just so you can avoid walking and getting caught up by the gas. Vehicle camera, we have that enabled for the recentering. Auto deploy, I have this disabled because of the amount of times that I've landed late to a drop when everyone's already there and they've beamed me in the air. That's why I just put it disabled, so I can manually deploy my parachute when I'm close to the ground. The only risk of this is that you might break your legs a few times, but give it a bit of practice and you guys will be fine. Alright guys, so in the general settings there are only 4 main categories that I'm going to be showing you, which is the world motion blur, I have that on disabled, Weapon motion blur, I also have that on disabled. The reason for these two settings is because it just allows you to spot opponents a lot easier, especially when you're on Warzone in the wide open fields, for example. And then if we scroll down a little bit more, we have minimap shape. I have that on square. The reason is pretty simple. You guys can see it in the diagram on the right. It just gives you a wider range of view compared to the circle. So you can spot people a lot easier, especially when they're firing off guns that aren't suppressed. And the minimap rotation I have enabled as well, just because I like the experience of it turning. Okay, so now that I've done general, I'll scroll over to audio settings. And for the audio mix, I have on boost high. And this is just so I can hear footsteps a lot clearer. Master volume I have on 85. You can have this on 100 if you want. It's really a preference. Music volume, I prefer to have this low just so I can concentrate, but some of the songs are good, I guess, especially when you're just rolling around in your vehicles. Dialogue volume, again, this isn't really something I concentrate on. It's on 40. I don't know if that's the default or not. Okay, so effects volume. Now this is an important one. I have this on max just so I can hear every single tiny movement on the game. Personally, I'd say that the effects volume is probably the most important setting, just so you can hear those little sounds around you and just identify where the enemy is. For Juggernaut music, I have on disabled. That's just self-explanatory right there. For hitmarker sound effects, I have on Modern Warfare because I just prefer them. And that's it, guys. I mean, there's not much else to show you in this video. I do have voice chat settings, but they're not really relevant. They're not relevant because they don't really help you guys in any way. They just show how I communicate with my friends or with randoms on Warzone. And if you guys enjoyed the video, please leave a like rating, comment and subscribe. Share the video, helps out a ton. And that's all from me. I'll see you next time, guys. Peace.